Hey everyone, welcome back to the third part of our playthrough. So last time we went to the forest world and the water prison world. And we saw two more victims being killed by some sort of unknown... Well, you know him is Walter Sullivan, but he killed them.
Walter Sullivan.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, is there something more we need to say or is that it, I think?
Not really. That is pretty much it.
Okay, then let's continue then. And yeah, we still have the watchfulness plate, or placard, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I accidentally read this again. So I'm gonna check on Eileen again. Who is this time lying down on her bed? Yeah.
She seems a bit too big for her bed. Like her feet are off the...
Yeah, exactly. I think she's like half on it, maybe. Yeah, Frank is apparently being angry with someone. Or arguing. Yeah, he's really angry for some reason. But at least he comes across as like that for me.
And James never visits me. Yeah.
That ungrateful son of mine.
The ungrateful son of mine.
Yeah, and it's just it would be funny if he wasn't actually talking to someone.
He went to vacation to Silent Hill. He never called me.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna be like, hold on. I think I'm gonna put the watchfulness placard in the box, I think. Yeah, exactly. Just to kind of create more room. And we're going to the next world this time. So I'm kind of checking around.
Oh yeah, the bloody bathtub.
Yeah, exactly, which happened last time. So yeah, he mentions the hole's even bigger now. And there's now a woman crying, I think. Yeah, so...
It's like a slide. Whee!
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Ooh.
So this is called Building World, I think. And it's kind of based off of Ashfield, actually, the town of Ashfield. Where Henry's apartment is. Yeah.
Seems claustrophobic.
It kind of isn't. Only this part is rather claustrophobic, but for the most part it's actually quite open. So yeah, Henry awakens once more. And it's like, oh god damn it.
In a new world.
Yeah, exactly. So here is another hole if you want to go back. I'm checking the map. So this is something I never noticed, but we're gonna see that later. Is you notice you hear some sounds, right? You notice on the top, I'm gonna see there.
Oh yeah.
There are like some monsters jumping across buildings. I never noticed this in the previous playthroughs of mine.
Maybe that's special with this new version.
Yeah, I kind of wonder about that actually. If it's kind of like specific to the GOG version or I just missed it in the previous ones.
Could be. It's very easy to miss.
Yeah. So we now hear gunshots. So very faint. There.
Oh yeah.
Which actually has a meaning actually, which we're about to see later. So yeah. So these are new enemies. I don't remember what they're called, but they're very monkey-like. And they're actually they hurt a lot sometimes. And they're very fast. But I showed him who's boss.
Yeah. You sure showed him.
Yeah.
So, is that my imagination or did he have two heads?
Yeah, he kind of has like two heads almost, like, yeah, exactly. They also kind of like to ambush you. They will jump down from from top.
As monkeys do.
Yeah, as monkeys do. So this is kind of the implication that this guy is actually the reason why there were gunshots. Because he has a gun, as you can kind of see. And this is Richard Braintree, who we saw earlier.
He seems to be pretty okay for falling such a distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on his back.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the guy that lives across from me.
Yeah, so he kind of puts together.
My name's Henry.
I'm Richard Braintree.
He doesn't shake Henry's hand, he's like, bitch. So, something to kind of point out is his tie, his necktie.
Oh,
It kind of has
yeah.
an image of a woman on it. I was really curious and I actually looked it up. I think it's meant to be the La Scapigliata or something, which is an unfinished painting attributed to Da Vinci, which means the woman with the disheveled head or hair. Sorry.
That must explain.
And do you think that's what it is actually?
Guy too.
I'm not 100% sure if that is what it is, but yeah.
What other guy?
Cool.
If you guys know about it, please do comment and tell me.
For you, a journalist.
Yeah, so we kind of spout some plot here.
He got pretty crazy towards the end. Shut himself up in his room and wouldn't come out.
Like you did, Henry.
Yeah, exactly. There's a connection there.
I'm getting the hell out of here.
So yeah, Richard's like, fuck you guys, I'm going home.
Wait. Watch out for that.
So yeah, Henry does the responsible thing and warns him of the kid, I guess. Yeah, this is what I mean, they kind of like to ambush you. So Richard left and these monkeys took the advantage and like, we're like, oh yeah, let's fuck him up.
They didn't attack him.
Yeah, well, he left already. I think they were waiting for him to leave so they can ambush us. But yeah, I'm showing them who's boss again. Got really good at this game actually eventually. Oh, I say that but I got hit there. Smack.
Smack.
Yeah, I'm like wrecking them. Yeah, they do kind of have two heads, don't they? Like one coming out of their neck, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like to think that's Richard's car, maybe. So yeah.
Someone is gurgling here.
Yeah, someone is gurgling here. Which we're about to see who it is. Well, what it is, I guess.
Or eating soup in the grossest way possible.
Possibly, yeah. But no, it's a ghost who's been pinned down with a sword. Which we kind of explained earlier, I think. You know,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can,
yeah.
the sword, you can pin them down. But the thing is, he actually has something in his hand, which is the ghost key. And I'm also gonna take the sword. Now, if you take a sword out of a ghost, they will resume their movement. So he will come back later and can chase us. But that's okay because he's kind of a weak ghost. You kind of want to use the sword for the really powerful ghost later.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's kind of an interesting looking place, this, especially this right here, that red.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, not sure what that is actually, but what it's meant to be.
It is very distinct.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the second level where we have a lot of ghost activity actually. So here you see there's a ghost coming out of the wall.
Oh no.
but I dodge him very quickly. Yeah. So to kind of talk about the names of the characters, for the main characters, generally they do have a meaning. For example, Henry Townshend. Henry means, I believe, ruler of a home. And Townshend means living on the edge of town.
Town's End.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of like a hermit, I suppose. Which actually befits him quite well in this game, I find. You know, he's the ruler of his apartment who, yeah. And it is a 5 iron, which is another golf club, which also breaks.
Does that do more damage?
Yeah, it does a lot of damage actually. So this is the second unbreakable weapon. It's powerful, but it's very slow, I find, and it doesn't have a good reach.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like I kind of don't like the weapon. I tried to use it in this video, but I end up changing it to another weapon I'm very fond of, which you'll see later, viewers. And yeah, and also I believe Walter Sullivan's name also kind of has a meaning, which is Walter meaning ruler, also kind of similar to Henry, but just in general.
Yeah.
And Sullivan actually means being eagle-eyed. So like an eagle-eyed ruler. Which actually also makes sense, kind of. Because to kind of spoil it a little bit, it's kind of very clear to me that Walter is like... he kind of rules these worlds, essentially.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense, and he knows everything about these worlds, kind of. Yeah. And yeah, so here's the key. And it also mentions there's like enough food for an army of cats. Which is the Albert Sports key.
A cat lady's dream come true.
Yeah, exactly. So many food. Yeah. So you see that it kind of breaks very easily. And that the insect was giving me a head massage.
yeah.
I was kind of like just letting him do that.
This actually feels kinda nice.
Yeah, I said, oh, not bad actually. Yeah. So you notice that the charge meter fills up very slowly with this weapon. And that's a kind of a shitty reach actually, so I don't like it a lot. I end up not liking it. Even though I'm gonna use it for a while here. And yeah,
The typical Silent Hill camera movements.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes, yeah, the controls in this game are a little, controlling Henry is a bit awkward sometimes.
I
Even
do,
though
I do feel the tank controls from the earlier games.
we're a lot better actually, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, so I can edit out something here because I was in the wrong way actually,
Yeah.
and it isn't very interesting.
Well, maybe not better, but more.
I would argue it is better because while I do like tank controls very much, with the free movement like this game does kind of feel awkward a lot of times.
Yeah.
I mean, tank controls I never feel awkward, But that's just me, I guess, but yeah. If you're gonna do freeform movement, you have to be very careful how you're gonna do it, essentially, yeah, because... So yeah, I kinda edited out another thing here. Because I got wrecked by a bunch of monkeys, and I had to return.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, you didn't want to show that, because, yeah. Just not to show my failures.
Henry is social battery slow.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's another knocks on the door, so let's see who it is. I don't remember actually who it is. Oh yeah, this. So yeah, that's a kind of a foreboding message.
Better check on your neighbor soon.
Yeah.
Does he mean Eileen?
Yeah, the implication is that he's talking about Eileen.
Okay,
So we're gonna check Eileen, who's still passed out on the bed. Yeah, she spends a lot of time there, I find. Just sitting there or laying there, I guess. I guess in this case she's sleeping, I guess, a little bit, so she's resting, so that makes sense, but...
we do spend a lot of time at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we're gonna save again. Ah, that still fucking hurts. Yeah, as you can see, it's called Building World. I kind of wish it was more called Town World, because it makes more sense to me, because it's not just a singular building.
Yeah.
Or Buildings World, I don't know. Or just Ashfield World, maybe even better. So yeah, let's go check where I got destroyed.
We're here again, bashing some monkeys' faces in.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, here I got a bit destroyed here, but I'm now coming back with a vengeance.
Ew.
Yeah, they're kind of gross looking. Yeah, so as per tradition of Silent Hill, the monsters do have a meaning, and it's kind of interesting that they're monkeys, which are like primates, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're also kind of like, how you say that, like similar to humans, I suppose, but like
Yeah.
a lower version of that, I suppose.
Humanoids?
Yeah, humanoid. So I kind of think the implication is that, that these monsters are supposed to represent how the murderer views this town, full of uncivilized people.
The lesser beings.
Yeah, lesser beings, essentially. At least I think that's what
I'm so above these monkeys.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of like a thing here, what's happening here.
Walter Sullivan is an elitist.
Yeah, he kind of, yeah, I suppose so, yeah. So yeah, once again, they like to ambush you and like jump down. So yeah, I'm gonna go, I'm kind of confused here. I was kind of struggling with the controls, I think here. I was like, goddammit, I want to go that way.
Yeah, the tank controls were far more accurate.
Yeah, they were far more accurate, that's the thing, yeah.
That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, exactly, that's a very good way to put it. So yeah, here's another scene where Henry's like, oh god damn it, those fucking monkeys. Why do they always chase me? I got hit by the head so many times.
And not that brain tree guy.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell why did he run off again?
What's so special about him?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Richard Braintree, he's actually here.
Oh, hi.
And he's kind of like, we're gonna confronting the kid, essentially.
Hey, kid.
The kid he was talking about.
Yeah, so it's kind of like pushing him. Which is kind of a bad move, he's like a supernatural killer, I guess. Because we do know that the kid is Walter Sullivan, I believe. Which is kind of explained by Andrew.
Little punk that I once Someone's caught sneaking around there. Do you know something about what's going on?
So yeah, the kid's like, oh fuck.
Hey, you!
Crazy man, run.
Yeah, crazy man, run.
Stranger danger.
I'm gonna point this gun in your face.
Yeah, so you kind of can tell that Richard is kind of like a very like a loose cannon a bit. So like yeah, he's in the nice guy it seems.
I'm gonna point this gun in your face and you better not run away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we see later of how Richard is kind of an asshole a lot of times, I suppose. And also very like violent maybe sometimes. So yeah. So we hear, I think, those head things again.
Yes.
And also we have another nutrition drink. So yeah, you may have noticed, viewers, that there aren't a lot of healing items up till this point.
We have the apartment for that.
Yeah, we have the apartment for that, exactly. Yeah. The health items are gonna be more relevant later. I promise you that. So yeah, I'm smacking the hell out of these things. And we're gonna proceed. So yeah, once again there are more monkeys. We're doing a dance, I guess. Yeah, you know, it's like, ooh. So I'm gonna kill all of them, I think. Because I'm like, I need to search around here because it's important. Yeah, that's kind of something I hate about this weapon. It has very low reach.
Yeah.
But it is powerful, but yeah. I kind of prefer accuracy over power generally in these games.
I never really used breakable weapons in this game.
Yeah, me neither, yeah.
Only in certain circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another thing I don't kind of like about these weapons. You don't really... There's no reason to use them, really. They actually kind of, yeah, fuck you up more than they actually help you, I find. Because when they break, you have to quickly switch to your non-breakable weapon, and it's kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the reliable, like, you know, keep hitting them. So yeah, that dog was actually drinking the blood of that. He was kind of like, sorry, I'm thirsty.
He got distracted.
Yeah, I got distracted. So yeah. Yeah, I think the creatures are meant to represent Walter Sullivan's fear of dogs. Because it's kind of explained he kind of is scared of them.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting later in this video, actually. Which I'm gonna point out, actually.
Even a supernatural killer like Walter Sullivan is scared of things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of like searching around here. And there's also some pistol bullets here, which I'm not gonna pick up eventually because I forget about it. I'm very forgetful, so yeah.
It seems also in a very ambush-like spot.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, fuck that.
Oh, look at the tasty bullets.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm actually kind of very good in this fight, I believe. Any second now.
Your positioning is good.
Yeah, exactly. I really do a good job in this fight. I find very proud of it. Especially here.
Nice.
Yeah. I do like how they kind of do like a monkey-like dance sometimes. Yeah, that right there, that animation.
That could have gotten a whole lot worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a very dangerous situation, but I handled it like a champ.
Go, Henry.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I do kind of like this level just because it's kind of like there's a lot of buildings and such, and you can see a lot of varied locations and stuff. Because the previous levels were very samey, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, somewhat samey.
They sure amped up the enemy encounters.
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, this game, Silent Hill 4, is a lot more action-packed, I find, compared to the previous Silent Hill games.
Oh, these designs are so creepy from the right angles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right in the
Nuts.
crotch.
Yeah. So you notice that this one is wearing a golf club. These monkeys are very powerful, so I'm very careful here. They hit a lot hard. I do get hit once, and you see how much damage it does. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, okay, I need to rethink this, and I'm gonna like, I'm trying to bait an attack from him so I can, you know, smack him.
This is the power of a breakable weapon.
It's actually a non-breakable weapon, this one.
Yeah, but it's breakable for us.
Yeah.
The golf clubs.
Yeah, the golf clubs, yeah, sorry. I misunderstood you.
And right in the balls again.
Yeah, actually, I like to do that.
That's Henry's favorite spot to kick.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going down the stairs and yeah, it's kind of confusing where the door is here, but it's actually, I'm kind of checking the map here, I'm like, oh yeah, it's there. So it's kind of right there, I guess.
The camera's doing weird things.
Yeah, I kind of do dislike how the camera moves sometimes. I feel like in the previous games the camera was a bit better, a little bit. It still had its kind of like, you know, faults, but I really like the Resident Evil camera angles because they're very thought through, you know, and yeah.
Fixed?
Fixed, yeah. Yeah. They're not more like, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, these are more like dynamic camera movements.
Yeah, which Silent Hill does kind of like to do a lot of times. I think the first Silent Hill, in that alleyway, I think.
That is iconic.
Yeah, the iconic intro, yeah. So this is,
so iconic, they did it in the Silent Hill movie.
yeah, exactly.
Recreated it.
Yeah, so this is another non-breakable weapon. It's actually my favorite weapon, particularly because of the power attack.
Yeah.
Not only does it have a good reach, it also gives you a very long invincibility frames, I guess. So it's very good, this weapon. So yeah, here is a hint to kind of like a puzzle. And he mentions that the sign is outside, and you can view it from all over Ashfield. So yeah, I think you viewers can maybe guess what we have to do, which is we have to go back to the apartment and go look through our window.
A lot of puzzles are like that.
Yeah, exactly. I do kind of like the idea actually as a puzzle. So yeah, we're gonna look through the window, and there it is, 3750, which is pretty cool puzzle actually. So I'm kind of looking around. So yeah, nothing interesting to see. Sometimes the characters have kind of funny animations to me. Sometimes they kind of look like chickens. Sometimes they're like in the chicken animation almost. Like I don't know how to. Yeah, I'll say it. So I'm gonna save again. Yeah. Oh, I'm like, oh, sorry, I overshot there. So yeah, now let's go back and oh yeah, let's go back and punch in the numbers, the code, I suppose.
Yeah. And find out if that Braintree guy gets killed or something.
Yeah, it's kind of there's kind of a recurring thing happening.
It's a trend.
It's a trend, exactly. And yeah, that's kind of the puzzle, essentially. Yeah. So I'm gonna use this axe for the rest of the game, basically. Because it's such a good weapon. So we hear a scream. Who could that be?
Braintree.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're gonna get chased by ghosts here.
He does look like Jasper.
It's not Jasper, actually. He just looks similar. So yeah, there's a bunch of ghosts gonna chase us. I would just advise just run, just keep running.
Run like hell.
Yeah, just run like hell, and they will never catch up to you, essentially. Yeah, it is a bit of a long way, actually. So it's gonna take a little while. So yeah.
This is a long staircase.
Yeah, it's a very long staircase.
Henry has got some cardio, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think in the previous Silent Hills there was like a fatigue thing. If you ran a long way, that the characters were like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, remember
that is the thing. Here Henry's like, I can do this all day.
Yeah, and I believe the characters would slow down after a while, like have slower speed.
Not Henry though.
But Henry not, no. And here is another placard. It's also Doors 207, which is kind of explained to be Richard's room. And this is the Chaos placard. So yeah, this is kind of an interesting scene that's gonna happen. Yeah, somehow he's in an electric chair. Not sure where the electricity is coming from. I guess this is a magical world, I suppose.
It also looks like a wooden chair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So electricity wouldn't conduct through it, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, and the kid is there, just staring menacingly through the window and
He
pointing.
doesn't even care.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
Oh, whatever.
So-
He pointed the gun at my face.
Yeah, exactly. He
Screw
deserves.
him.
He deserves it. So yeah, Richard is trying to tell us something.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, so he kind of mentions it's the 11-1-2-1 man. Which, if you remember, in the forest world we found a coffin without those numbers in it.
Yeah.
It was empty. And yeah, Richard is dead once again.
And Henry doesn't give a shit.
Well, I think he is trying to save them, but he always fails, I suppose.
Yeah, and it all happened so fast. It's like, oh well, that happened.
Yeah, and Henry did try to help him, even touch the electricity, I think, to help him, but he was like, no, he got shocked. So yeah.
That was Building World.
Yeah, that was Building World. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting thing. I never knew this. Yeah, so he's kind of pointing at Eileen's room. I never seen this actually before. In my previous playthroughs of this game.
Oh, that's eerie.
Yeah, so he's kind of pointing, and he's still there, like pointing. Yeah, I'm like, oh, it was kind of cool. I found that very cool actually to see that.
Looks like another one, Captain.
Yeah, so
Got one
Another guy got killed.
yeah,
head. It's just like that case from 10 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, that Walter Sullivan case. But Sullivan's dead. They even got the body. Must be some crazy copycat. Yeah, but even so,
I do feel like those two men are the same voice actor almost, you know?
Mm.
They don't really sound that different. Oh, that sounds lovely. Yeah, like nothing.
Yeah, warm and sunny weather. Oh yeah.
Good news. I needed some good news after all those deaths I failed to rescue.
Yeah, that is really disturbing how they can broadcast like, oh yeah, these people got killed by a serial killer,
Yeah.
and here's the weather.
Yeah, exactly. And you see, notice that Eileen here is wearing a dress this time. So it's kind of implied she's going to a party.
She's going out.
Yeah, she's going out, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, and again with that broadcast thing,
Yeah.
and then immediately going lighter with the weather.
Yeah.
I guess you only notice it if you're personally involved.
Yeah, exactly.
With these things.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. So I was watching Frank just staring off into space.
Where the hell has James gone?
Yeah, I'm still wondering where James is going.
What happened to his wife?
Yeah.
She was so nice.
Yeah, she's really obsessed about it.
She gave me cookies and everything.
I miss her. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Sunderland.
Yeah, Frank Sunderland.
Really has that old guy.
Energy. Yeah.
Old guy energy. Like, oh, my son never visits me.
Yeah.
His wife was nice, but
Yeah, exactly. So you notice that now the hole is almost circular perfectly. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, sorry, I edited something out, I think. So yeah, notice that there are like symbols starting to form. Yeah.
Poor Frank.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Let's go see what the next world is. It's actually kind of an interesting one, actually. Because, as Henry's gonna point out later. In any second now.
Any second now.
Yeah, so this is actually the apartment world, which is based off of our apartment complex. And that's the room of Eileen, who's like, Oh, that's kind of creepy. I better not open it.
Eileen, it's your date.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of So this is kind of Walter Sullivan as well, I think. So it's kind of interesting that both the kid and this guy is Walter Sullivan. They're both that guy.
Aspects of the same person.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, yeah. You could see it. And you notice that there are like dead dogs there. You know, those enemies?
He really hates dogs.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the implication. That's why he kills him as well.
Is he a cat person though?
I don't know.
Maybe.
It never comes up, I think. So yeah. So this is the apartment world where we're gonna see a lot of about our neighbors and stuff. Apparently someone really likes drinking here. There's a lot of cans. Yeah. So this is the apartment of basically someone who's really into porn.
Oh my, a rare porn magazine.
Yeah, exactly. So this is Mike, who's also in love with Rachel, who's a nurse. So interesting connection. Rachel here is actually the nurse that took care of James' wife in Silent Hill 2.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of a connection there. So that's actually meant to be the same nurse. So you notice that we have a red paper, which is actually kind of an interesting item. We can actually put this under our door, and then when we return to our apartment, we can read them. Yeah. So there's a key.
Why can't we read them now?
Oh, because there's nothing written on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
It's a game mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. It's a game mechanic. So yeah, this guy's kind of stalkerish.
Ah, my beautiful Rachel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is talking about the Wish House, which was in Forest World.
The orphanage.
Yeah. Forest. Yeah.
A respectable organization.
They're all respectable, those evil stuff. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, so he also mentions a concrete tower, which is actually the water prison world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They locked up the kids in there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of an interesting thing about the world, is that it's kind of implied that it has a strong connection. All the worlds have a strong connection to Walter Sullivan. No, because he was raised in the Wish House, for example. He was put in the water prison, stuff like that.
A lot of traumatic events.
Yeah, exactly.
Written by Joseph Schreiber, and we have a ghost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's the old lady ghost who's back. Yeah.
So what is the old lady's ghost connection? Oh, little Walter.
Yeah, so he kind of knocking on the door. Yeah, so he kind of mentions like, oh,
So you can put a note under there.
Yeah, and then you can read it when you go back to your apartment. So yeah, notice the many dead dogs here.
So do you know anything about the old lady?
Well, the old lady is just, clearly one of his victims, essentially. I don't know much about her, except that she was drowned, I think.
Probably a member of the cult.
Yeah, I think so, that's the implication. So yeah, here he is.
Oh, hey, Walter.
Which is kind of interesting, we can talk to him.
I got this from Miss Galvin. A long
Oh, I was just asking about the old lady. Maybe that is Miss Galvin then, or I don't know. No, she's younger than her.
No, Eileen Galvin. That's actually the one with the purple dress, so yeah.
Yeah, I was way off.
Yeah. So this is kind of interesting, is that Walter knew Eileen from way back, even way before she actually, is gonna assault her, presumably.
I'll give it to
So
you.
he kind of gives us a doll, or he tries to give us a doll.
Or maybe even before Eileen could form memories.
Well, to kind of explain it, he kind of met Eileen when she was a small child, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, he tried to give us a doll, which I'm not gonna pick up because that's gonna fuck us over later. So don't take that, unless you really want to see that fucked up, event.
It's an evil cursed doll.
Yeah, exactly.
Never accept creepy dolls from strangers.
Yeah, exactly. Just a free hint from us. If you're ever in this situation, never take that.
Especially if they're Walter Sullivan.
Yeah, who's clearly a murderer.
A supernatural murderer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, well, Walter is not very considerate towards us. He likes killing dogs, only not the ones in our way.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Walter.
Yeah, just kind of, he's kind of biting me. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that Walter kind of knew Eileen way back, basically, huh? And that's kind of interesting because that's kind of the case with most of his victims. He kind of knew them way before he was going to kill them. Similar to Cynthia, for example. Because he actually met Cynthia when she was a teenager. It's kind of part of a supplemental material, I think, where it's kind of a little story about how Walter met Cynthia, essentially. Basically, Walter as a teenager approached her because he kind of knew her, basically, and she was kind of creeped out by him and also kind of rejected him, essentially.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, he was like, oh, you're kind of handsome, and then he started being very creepy, and she was like, oh no, I'm gonna go out of this.
Weird vibes. Weird
Yeah,
vibes.
yeah, exactly, weird vibes.
Red alert, red alert.
And for example, similar with Jasper, Walter also knew him way before. As a matter of fact, Walter killed his friends, and he ran away. And his friends are also one of the victims, one of the ghosts, two of them, I think.
Oh, love letters for
Yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah, exactly.
My Rachel.
Yeah, so it's very creepy actually. So for some reason that locker key doesn't have a meaning actually, so just to see that. Which is kind of weird to me. Yeah. And of course Andrew, Walter knew because he was the guy who was watching Walter in the water prison. So yeah, we're gonna enter the superintendent's room.
So, we're learning a lot about our neighbors now.
Yeah, exactly. And another red paper. And there's also a second red paper which I kind of neglect to pick up, but we're gonna go take it later. So yeah. I'm like, ooh, a key. So this is the key to every apartment, except Eileen's.
Oh, yeah.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to, yeah. So this is kind of implied to be the umbilical cord that was stinking.
Pick up the red paper.
Yeah, so I'm doing that right now. So like, okay. So yeah.
You know what? I take it back. That Henry's apartment was really dirty. These other ones are way worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you kind of mentioned this. So you kind of mentioning a lot of interesting information.
The red box.
Yeah, so you kind of mentions to a couple basically, and they left a baby.
In the box with the umbilical cord.
No, just in the apartment 302, I think. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it kind of mentions here. The box is just where he put the umbilical cord in, essentially.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting. And he also mentioned that there was a weird kid hanging around that apartment. So kind of, yeah. Kind of harking back to what I said about that these worlds have a connection to Walter Sullivan. You find out that he also has a very strong connection to this apartment, essentially.
Yeah. Walter Sullivan is connected to everything here.
Yeah, exactly.
He could almost be the protagonist if he wasn't the antagonist.
I guess so, yeah. So yeah, once again, there is kind of like...
Oh, my darling Rachel.
So this is kind of interesting, is that this is actually another apartment. This is not Mike's apartment. This is actually Rachel's apartment, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna hear that telephone noise a lot, actually. Because I actually only find it at the very end. So yeah.
Oh, this is very dirty.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
all red and fleshy and...
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the ghosts are also very active here.
Annoyingly so.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it seems this guy's really into playing music apparently, because there's a lot of like boxes or whatever they're called.
Tapes.
Speakers and stuff. So yeah, this guy again. This guy we saw in the Forest World, who I mentioned has a melee weapon.
Hey Henry, it's Billy Bob from the south.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm checking the map and like, So yeah. So yeah, you notice more dead dogs here. You may have noticed that.
Thanks, Walter.
Yeah, thanks. You're a lad. You're a sport. So I'm gonna head back to the third floor, I think, to put the papers under the door.
For more exposition.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and the doll.
Yeah, the doll is still there.
The game really wants us to pick this up.
Yeah, I think that's...
They're very insidious like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, we're gonna put some more papers under our door. I'm like, whoop. And whoop. So yeah, we're gonna hear that phone noise a lot, actually. Annoyingly so, like, yeah.
Yeah, just imagine if this was purely psychological in Henry's head and other people could see him run around like this.
Yeah.
Why is he putting notes underneath his own door? What is that crazy bastard doing?
Yeah, hold on, I need to go back to my apartment through this hole and read them. Like, as he explains to them, like,
Meanwhile, people actually seeing it like,
Yeah, like really weirded out by him. So yeah, there's also a lot of dog statues here, I think.
yeah.
And the noise of the phone is still going. So yeah, here's some bullets for some reason. I think it's kind of implied that this is an old lady's apartment.
That makes sense that there are bullets. She's an old lady, so she needs her gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Then Henry can swing around an aluminum bat. She can't. She needs her gun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Isn't there a thing in America you can actually buy it in a supermarket or something?
Walmart or something?
Yeah, Walmart or
I don't know.
I don't know if that's actually true or not. But,
It's a lot more accessible than other countries, that's for sure.
Yeah. But I did kind of hear that actually. Or I heard that.
You buy a pack of Pringles
Yeah.
and a shotgun.
The shotgun, yeah. 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 So this place is actually very expansive, as you may have noticed. There's a lot of rooms you can go into.
Apartments tend to be very big.
Yeah, exactly. And you also notice that there is... Oh no, sorry, no, never mind. So here is a cassette tape.
Of Skinned Mike.
Yeah, which is kind of an interesting label or title, I guess.
That's my rapper name.
Yeah.
Skinned Mike.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of bars on the doors, I noticed. And in the kitchen here and stuff.
Oh yeah, it could be symbolism for people being trapped somehow.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Like Henry?
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, we hear the dogs here. Which Walter also neglected to kill for us. God damn it, Walter.
He's very selective.
Yeah, it's very selective, I suppose. So I'm gonna teach him a lesson. I was kind of the aggressor in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of a... Oh yeah, I missed him.
He's kiting you.
Yeah, no, he's kiting me. I'm like, goddammit, die.
Die!
Yeah, there we go. So something kind of interesting to note is that Richard mentioned that Walter himself was the 1-1-1-2-1 victim, essentially, like the yeah.
He's one of the victims.
He's one of the victims, interestingly enough.
Even though it's self-inflicted.
Yeah, it's self-inflicted, which we kind of learn later. It's kind of interesting because it kind of implies that, because we saw the ghosts, right, who are also victims of Walter, it's kind of implied that Walter himself is also one of the ghosts. But as we have seen, he actually talks.
Yeah, wasn't he trying to do a ritual?
Yeah, that's kind of what, yeah, so here is Walter also, he's kind of like, so this is Richard's apartment, by the way. So yeah, so that's kind of the point of these killings, is that he's trying to do like a ritual to do something which we do not know
He was
yet.
staring at Eileen's apartment also.
Yeah, and we find Richard's revolver, which is a stronger handgun essentially. It does use different bullets, so yeah. So
Yeah, back to the ritual Walter is trying to achieve.
yeah,
It's pretty much an impossible ritual because you have to kill yourself halfway through it.
yeah. But it's actually kind of interesting because the ritual consists of basically killing a bunch of people, and it's kind of explained later that the first 10 victims are kind of a sacrifice so that you can become a ghost essentially. So after those 10 victims, you kill yourself and you're the 11th one, and you become like a special ghost.
And then you have to kill again.
Yeah, you have to kill again.
Even after that.
Yeah, so that's what Walter is doing with these victims. He actually draws them in these worlds and then kills them.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening essentially. Which you can kind of easily, like, how you say that, surmise, I suppose, like, yeah. So we're gonna head back to the apartment, and we're gonna read a lot.
Oh yeah, all those notes we put under our own door.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna check, that's totally what I want to check, game tanks. Yeah, I'm like, and you notice that Walter is gone now. He's no longer staring at,
He was the guy pointing.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a lot of stuff here.
We have a mixtape of Skinned Mike.
Exactly.
I can't wait to hear his music.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, what should I do first? Yeah, we noticed that some sort of washing machine is on, I think. Or like, yeah.
Is that Henry's washing machine?
Yeah, I think the implications. I'm gonna check that out later. First, I'm gonna put everything in my box. Oh, box, thank you for storing all my stuff.
Being a constant in my life.
Yeah, exactly. You're a true bro, box. So yeah, here. Yeah, so it's the dryer actually.
The dryer is spilling blood.
Yeah.
What the hell is in that dryer?
Yeah, exactly. We don't know that. We don't check
We will
it.
never know.
Yeah. So this is kind of interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
The copycat killer.
So we kind of already explained it, that Walter is essentially drawing in the victims and killing them that way. So this is kind of annoying. He's like, the last page I saw was, and it's conveniently ripped off. Like,
Eileen Galvin's key.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, here he kind of puts something together. Is 1 out of 21. So there's a total of 21 victims there are supposed to be. Yeah. So if you recall, Richard was the 19th victim. And it's kind of easy to think that Eileen is the 20th.
The ritual is almost complete.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. The ritual is almost complete. Like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you kind of may be wondering, like, who's the 21st victim? Which is kind of also easy to, like, interpret.
Okay, Skinned Mike's
Yeah, so
mixtape.
Let's listen to this.
How do you like that, you sick little...
So that's Richard, actually.
You had it coming to you. These clothes are disgusting. Get him out of my sight.
I know. It'll be perfect to wrap his body in.
Hold it. You!
Hold it, I think
You
I'll keep
snooping
that
around
for
again?
myself.
Get your ass out of here before you
Hold
really
it,
piss me off!
Hold it. Hold it. I think I'll keep that one for myself. Hold it. I think I'll keep that one for myself.
Yeah. So kind of interesting is that was Richard. And he was saying, like, oh, you're snooping around here again. It's kind of implied that he's referring to Kid Walter. When Walter saw him when he was a child. And that's kind of interesting that it kind of implies that Walter saw that happen. Like Richard like beating up a guy, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of interesting.
I'm really disappointed with the mixtape. I was expecting a rap song about a guy named Skinned Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay.
Yeah, it is what it is, I suppose, sometimes.
Yo, Skinned Mike in the house!
Yeah, all the bitches in the club. Stuff like that. So I kind of edited out another thing because there was a lot of boring stuff. You know, there's a lot of guns here. Unfortunately, they're all model guns.
Ah.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna bother, like, yeah.
But the pistol bullets are real.
Yeah, the pistol bullets are real. So yeah. So kind of interesting, something interesting to note is that in the previous Silent Hills, you kind of had a progression of weapons. You start with the handgun, for example, then the shotgun, then the rifle. In this game, you only have handguns. You know, like the handgun and Richard's revolver.
Yeah, is that like to get the players' hopes up? Oh, shotgun! Yeah!
Yeah, I think that's the point of that room.
And then like,
That's why I wanted to show it off, because I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, actually.
Billy Bob was harassing us again.
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Henry is gonna... I'm not sure where I'm going this time. Oh yeah, so I accidentally went to the options. I was like, Oh yeah, I have to search through here. Yeah.
Where is that damned phone?
Yeah, I know, it's just not being ringing constantly. I'm gonna spoil it, it's at the end, at the very last room, I believe.
Of course it is.
Yeah, because of course it is, yeah. So I'm like, okay, is the phone here? And I'm like, no, it isn't. Yeah, I got really annoyed by the phone.
Henry must be annoyed too.
So yeah. So yeah, the ghosts are chasing us again. There's a lot of empty balls in this apartment, apparently.
I think we're dealing with an alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly, someone with an alcohol problem. I'm happy with just my beautiful liquids. And yeah, there's another torn paper here.
Nice.
I do like the noise the ghosts make. It's kind of very creepy to me. Yeah. So
Oh,
here is the
here's the phone.
yeah. So finally it's done. So you notice that this is an apartment of an artist. Yeah, and he kind of has a comments about all the occupants.
Including the nurse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah. So he kind of mentions also where all the people are. So yeah, a nice sweet old couple. Yeah, a woman holding a cat. So he kind of mentions that one of her cats died, which is actually kind of important actually. Later, as we're about to see. It kind of comes up frequently, well not frequently, but like twice I think throughout the entire game, the cat.
Oh, by the way, her cat died.
Yeah. But it's kind of more interesting than that actually. So he kind of mentions a guy drinking alcohol, which we can kind of, know which apartment this is. Yeah, so he's kind of like, kind of angry. But he's thankful that Richard beat up Mike apparently.
A gun maniac.
Yeah, so this is Mike then.
Oh yeah, the porn magazine guy.
Yeah, and the superintendent. Yeah. And this is like a video game dude.
I never met a guy like that. Look at this old vintage porn magazine. It's so rare.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worth a lot of bucks.
Hey, don't judge. People have their interests. So the old lady is trying to make us go to bed again. Oh well, she
Whoa.
was kind of surprised there because I was like,
The old granny can teleport.
yeah, exactly.
Henry, can I bake you some cookies?
Yeah, I'm trying to like, no, grandma, I don't need anything. Leave me alone.
Stay a while, I'm lonely.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so lonely.
My grandson never visits me.
Yeah.
I can bake the best cookies.
Yeah. Now I kind of feel bad for her.
Oh yeah, but we should have stayed.
Yeah, exactly. And let her rip our heart out, I suppose. So yeah, I was kind of confused here because as you may have noticed, I visited all the apartments, I think. However, I kind of forgot to check a specific spot, I think. So after this, I'm gonna go head there, I believe. First, I'm gonna put the paper here, that we found, because I actually thought that this was what I needed. It isn't, by the way. So yeah, to kind of explain, I kind of forgot to check something in an apartment. We have to check the fridge specifically.
Oh yeah.
But I never did that, so yeah, I kind of got confused here. And I had to look it up actually to know where that item was.
The fridge.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the fridge, okay, that.
Yeah, that is kind of like old survival horror games.
Yeah, click on everything.
You miss one thing and
yeah, you're kind of stuck.
You have to check the entire area again.
Yeah, exactly.
Without a guide anyway.
Yeah. God, those old games were sometimes ridiculous a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna read that note, which is actually not that important, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was helpful. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah. Rachel, love of my life.
Yeah, but, oh, thanks for giving me information I already knew. That's the kind of thing. So yeah, you notice that Eileen is gone, actually.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah.
Walter Sullivan has got her.
Well, we'll see later, actually. So yeah. So now we're gonna. Oh, sorry.
Meanwhile, Henry is thinking, what does this place want me to do?
Yeah.
To progress.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of like thinking about it like a video game, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, okay, where's the key item I need?
Where's the key item I need to progress in my life?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, here I'm checking like, oh, but I checked every apartment. Where is the key item I need? And then I'm gonna look it up soon here. And I'm like, oh, I need to go to 102 here. So
Now I'm just picturing Henry grabbing
a strategy guide.
a strategy guide of Silent Hill, the room
Yeah, it's like, okay, where is this fucking item?
in the game.
So yeah, here I'm kind of looking it up, I believe, but I did edit it out a little bit. Maybe I need to edit it out a bit
Oh, the
more.
damned fridge!
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah.
technical issues.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I guess I forgot to edit this out. Okay, so yeah. So yeah. Now we're heading to room 102 actually to get the key item we need to progress in this world.
From the fridge.
From the fridge, yeah. Yeah, these dogs are very fast, which makes sense because they're dogs and stuff.
Ew.
Yeah, so we need to get to the fridge here, but I'm gonna have to stamp on all of them. This is actually me trying to check the fridge, but Henry's like, no, first we have to stamp these things.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, it's really annoying actually. I'm like, oh come on, I wanna pick up the key item, sorry.
It smells terrible.
And
Let's open it.
And here is actually the dead cat.
Oh,
that old lady.
oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, now this is the key item we need actually, this specific note.
Oh, we have to go back to the apartment then.
Yeah, we have to go back to the apartment.
Ah.
We're actually almost done with apartment world actually. Which is kind of cool. So yeah. Now we're gonna head back to the apartment, put it under the door, and read it. And it actually explains how to get Eileen's key.
Nice.
Yeah, so the doll is still there.
The doll is still staring into the camera.
Yeah.
Pick me up, please pick me up.
Yeah, so we hear noises here.
Yeah, the Eileen is getting assaulted by Walter.
Yeah, exactly.
Walter.
So yeah, to kind of talk about that doll, it's kind of explained that when Eileen was 4 years old, she was with her mom, and she actually noticed Walter, who was a teenager back then, who was also homeless, and essentially she gave him her doll for comfort. And it's actually kind of like interesting because it's one of the only kinds of acts of kindness he ever seen, and it's kind of stuck in his head actually because of that. Unfortunately, that's also why he's kind of shows her as a victim of this ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that act of kindness, essentially. Yeah, so here. So it's actually in our room.
Near the bed in my room.
Yeah, which is actually our apartment. So that's kind of a fun thing.
Near the bed, okay.
Yeah, so it's near the bed. So I'm heading there right now. And yeah, first I'm like, okay, where is it? I'm like, is it here? And I'm like, oh no, god damn it, I didn't want to check the phone. And I'm like, yeah. I'm checking the bed here. And it's kind of funny because Henry kind of tells me off. He says like the red diary said it's under the bed.
It's under the bed, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, how do I get under? And I'm like, okay, I see. So you notice that it's actually the same doll, but with a keychain version of it. And that is actually Eileen's key.
Henry was getting passive aggressive there for a bit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's under the bed, stupid.
Yeah, he was kind of being very passive aggressive actually. And to me, I was kind of felt called out.
Not on the bed, under it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's finish apartment world, I suppose.
It's like levels in a video game.
Yeah, it basically is, yeah. I do kind of like this structure of different worlds and stuff. I always like that trope. Oh. So yeah, let's kind of find Eileen.
I'm coming, Eileen.
Yeah, after 5 minutes.
Here I come to save the day.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, oh no. Let's enter. So no, Eileen. So yeah, this is kind of interesting that Eileen is kind of like thanking the kid. which implies that the kid actually stopped whoever was assaulting her.
Kid Walter stopped adult Walter.
Yeah, that's basically the implication here, which is very interesting actually. It's kind of like conflicting things.
Which shows even Walter is conflicted.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what it's meant to kind of like represent, I suppose. So yeah, it kind of, yeah.
Musical number.
Yeah, and Henry's like, no, I failed like for the 5th time to save someone.
I'm such a failure.
Yeah, exactly. It's like really feeling sorry for himself. So yeah, we hear ambulances. Or an ambulance, I suppose. Not multiple ones. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, we need to. Oh no, she's cut in half. We need 2 ambulances.
We need 2 of them.
Exactly.
One for each body part. Yeah, better make it safe. Send 10.
Yeah, exactly. It would be kind of funny if that's how it works. So yeah, Henry's like taking his sweet fucking time to get up. Calling me out earlier. Now I'm calling you out. So yeah, we're almost near the end of the video, I think. But first we're gonna do some apartment stuff. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. Is that the ambulance is actually leaving, which actually implies that Eileen isn't actually dead yet.
True.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. It kind of left very quickly.
It would have been a lot clearer if the siren was on.
Yeah,
While it was driving away.
it was on actually, I think.
Oh, but I mean the
noise.
the loud noise. thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Yeah, so he mentions sealing off the back of the storage room.
Yes.
And there's also like like sort of demon card we got from under there. So we're gonna, yeah. Oh, and also notice this. It's like, what's this?
What is this?
Yeah, which is kind of gonna be relevant later. So yeah, let's, yeah.
Took the victim to St. Jerome.
So you notice the Robbie the Rabbit's pointing at us?
You were too late
Yeah,
to save Eileen.
yeah.
Round 3, huh?
Yeah, so they're kind of talking about it.
Scumbag behind round 2 a few years back. Maybe it's the same guy.
What if 1, 2, and 3? What if they're all the same guy?
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking?
You stupid
You know
rookie.
something yourself. The weird thing
Shut
is,
up. Don't slap.
A ghost can't kill people.
Yeah, exactly. But little did he know that the rookie was actually correct.
just a number. 20121. I've been a cop for a long time.
But I never seen this shit. Which is kind of a very cliche line, I find.
Like they were killed by a ghost or something.
Yeah.
Almost like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like that.
Huh. I do like, that's funny. So yeah, let's check out of the. So you notice that there is a handprint, but it's very faint in the middle there, down. So it's, yeah. So it's very faint. So yeah.
Draw your own conclusions
Yeah.
about that one.
Yeah.
That's the same place the ghost went into the apartment
In the intro.
In the intro.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, now you notice I'm gonna take all the placards because we're gonna use them very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to the storage room, I think. Yeah. Because the note mentioned something about that. And notice that there's like a stain, and he mentions it kind of looks like an evil demon. So he uses succubus talisman, and disappears.
Oh.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
He rules as a king.
Yeah, and it
Well,
mentions.
Walter probably.
Yeah, and it mentions the deepest part lies his mother or something. So yeah, we just put the placards in the right stuff. And yeah, we will see what happens. It opens another hole.
Another one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna actually show this, the original hole in the bathroom. I'm gonna check up on it to just show that we can't go through it anymore.
Wow, that they really sealed that up fast.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole gnomes.
The whole gnomes.
That work there. That would be kind of funny actually if that was the case. So yeah, I'm gonna be like, okay, override. So yeah. And I think the end of the video is gonna come up soon.
Wanna know where the new hole leads?
Find out next time.
Find out next time.
Yeah, which is actually kind of an interesting world essentially, yeah. So yeah. So that was kind of it, this video. I hope you all enjoyed that. And I hope to see you all in the next video.
See you next time.